Cause yeah, that whole thing about like, where's the button? Where's the button? Bam, that's good enough, right? I'll do this. And then, yeah, perfect. I need a cooler background. So that it looks like a thing. This is a really persistent issue with online platforms. Like Twitch just released like more TOS shit, you know? Like famously, like everyone was like, oh, if you call someone a simp, you can get shot. Obviously, people overreacted, but they overreacted because Twitch has a pattern of behavior, right? Like there's persistent problems on the platform, and Twitch just does like tech platform thing to do it, which is just like you type out a policy and just like post it, and that's all you do. Like it's the bare minimum. Because like the thing you have to realize about TOS and all that shit and like rules on a platform is that like TOS does not exist to protect streamers. Someone who's like up here and like vulnerable like on the platform, like I'm a target, right? I don't give a shit. So like it's kind of like I'm less of a target than someone who's like one of those like uwus, like a uwu trans girl or some shit like that. But like if you just think about it for a second, like what's the math of this? I'm one person and like someone's being a bigot in my chat. What do I do to deal with them? I can like shoot them and like they'll go away, but they'll be like, they'll make an alt, or like, you know, that never works, right? There's way more shitheads than there are of marginalized people. That's just how it is. That's like the numbers game of it. So whenever Twitch implements stricter TOS rules, it just gives the chuds more ways to make marginalized people's lives harder. It doesn't help me, right? It doesn't help like a black person. If someone's spamming the tryhard emote and shit, you know, like there's no end of ways that they can be racist. So all you can do is like, if you're a platform, the bare minimum is not actively make it harder to exist on the platform as like a queer person, you know? Like I don't want Twitch to have stricter TOS. I want Twitch to have looser TOS. Like you guys probably know Winter, like VVNTR, you know? Like they've been shot a bunch of times by Twitch because of like, you know, supposed TOS violations. Like, yeah, they're a cleavage streamer or whatever, but the reality is they're targeted because they're trans on Twitch. And so like, you know, if Twitch like tightens up TOS ostensibly to protect queer people on the platform, it demonstrably does the opposite. I have time and effort invested into like this channel, right? But like a person who just makes the N-word but like one letter is misspelled, that's just a fucking account they made in like 18 seconds, right? They don't give a shit. They have nothing invested in that. They're just on the platform to be a shithead. Ultimately, I don't have a good solution for those people besides just like figure out how to laugh at them. If I get fucking targeted by someone who has a vendetta against me and like it's not necessarily worth Twitch's time to like look into why I got like mass flagged or reported or shit, like they're just gonna shoot me and I'm done, you know? So TOS is never the answer. I'm sorry. It's fucking, you have to understand that TOS it's just the lazy way out. They can just like, oh, we updated TOS, so we're good now, right? But like obviously Twitch is garbage, so it doesn't. If you're an uwu trans woman, it's a fetish. If you're not uwu trans woman, you're not doing enough to be womanly. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And either way is a reason for them to fucking target you, right? Like the baseline is you can't win, right? Unless you're like, you know, unless you've like developed a complex where you think it's just funny to call them bitches. Like if someone, I've just figured out how to deal with them. So like you see, like I don't get a lot of people fucking with me in the chat, right? It's pretty rare. And like the ones who like do come, like conservative logo, like he comes back. He likes being here. Because like he goes like, hey, you're an ugly tranny, and they go like, hey, no one gives a shit, bye, and that's it. And I get to laugh at it, you know? All Twitch is doing with this TOS bullshit is like they're just adding to the armory that like the chuds already have, and they don't need it. But yeah, and then you see that with like, but yeah, the Tinder thing. You see that with the Tinder thing, right? Because like, how do people fucking do transphobia? They just use the tools available, and one of them is TOS shits. They just use TOS to like report someone's account for being trans. And like, so like obviously TOS didn't help them. TOS just like enabled more transphobia, right? So yeah, I'm not happy about it. Wait, someone asked about Narcissa, didn't they? Grindr is just like full of shitheads. Honestly, it's your fault if you're on Grindr in the first place. Don't go on Grindr. It was never good.